We'll call this March 27th Jackson County Commission meeting to order. Have our roll call.
District 1, Mr. Guthrie. Present. District 2, Mr. Bell. Present. District 3, Ms. Gilbert.
Present.
District 4, Mr. Sisk. Present. Chairman also present.
Yeah, I didn't get the board. Okay, we have a quorum present. We'll have our invocation by Mr. Porter and our pledge by Mr. Venable, and we'll leave the pledge.
God our Father in heaven, the maker of all things in heaven and on earth, the maker and the creator of the rain and the flowers and the things that are now blooming, we're so thankful for the blessings that you provide to us. We're thankful to be able to live in this country. What a blessing it is. We're thankful to live in this county. The beauty that you provide for us each and every day to be able to see and to enjoy. God, we pray that we'll never take our blessings for granted, but we'll always protect them and use them to your advantage and to the advantage of other people. So God, we pray that you'll watch over us tonight as we meet with these commissioners as they make decisions about the county, make sure that they make good decisions and decisions that are in the best interest of all the people of the county. Watch over us and guide us and direct us and save us. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody to our community meeting and commission meeting this evening. I know we've got some bad weather on the way, and also I think spring break. So maybe why we don't have many folks to visit with us tonight, but we appreciate everybody that has come to join us this evening. We'll go through our commission meeting and then we'll open it up to the community meeting. And Ms. McLean and Mr. Golden signed on the sheet. Did you have some things you wanted to share before we got started? That's what the sign-in sheet was for, or you just signed in to sign in? You guys have anything? Okay.
I just had a couple questions.
Okay, so when we get to the community meeting portion, then, if it's nothing pertaining to the agenda, we'll wait for that. Okay. All right. So we'll begin our meeting. The first item is approval of the agenda. We have 9 items on the agenda. I would like to ask that we remove item number 2 from the agenda. We need some discussion on that, and I'd ask that we move that to the work session next week. And outside of that, the remaining 8 items. Any other changes before we proceed?
Can you add that surplus, that dishwasher on there while you're doing it?
Yes. Added item number 10 to surplus the old dishwasher at the jail. Okay, any other questions before we proceed? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the agenda with those changes? Motion, or a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Okay, we have no words of presentations, no items to speak of before the meeting. We have the minutes. We do not have the minutes from the previous meeting, the work session. No old business. So moving on to new business. And the first item is regarding the proposed weather policy. This is taking the weather policy, and I'll explain again for folks that may not come to the meeting regularly. The way that we handle these meetings is we'll have a work session to discuss most of these issues prior, and then we'll come to a meeting to vote on these items. So last week was our work session. This week will be our meeting. So the first and third Mondays we have work sessions, and then the second and fourth Mondays we have meetings. So most of the discussion for these items are had during the work sessions. That does not preclude us from having any discussion at a meeting, but as we may fly through some of these things, so I want you to understand that a lot of the discussion happens at those work sessions. So with that, this one is something that has been modified from the previous draft that was given. I think last week I mentioned some of the changes that were recommended to include the COA bus drivers in the case of inclement weather, as well as to allow for anyone that is out of work or if the offices are closed, if they do receive their pay for that full shift, if they're out for a full shift. So those are the modifications, and I think some of the verbiage was a little bit changed to include the liberal leave verbiage. And you've had time to review this updated, correct? Did you have any other questions on it?
No, sir.
Okay. Any questions from the commission on this? Again, the real change from the current policy is the liberal leave portion, which is intended to be used to keep from having to have closures or delays. Or closed delays. Any other questions or comments? We have a motion to approve the proposed policy.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. Next item regarding additional, the holiday of Good Friday for April 14th. You have a notice in your packets and discussed last week. Do we have any discussion on this item? Motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Motion, we have a second. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. Next item is regarding the motion to concur with the WIOA board realignment. Again, the workforce boards, realigning that from the 3 current boards to the 7 as it's located on the map. This was presented to us last week. Ms. Shepherd, are there any questions on this? Any further questions on this?
Who's on what? Our part, Jackson County members?
At this point, I don't think those are identified. I believe, my understanding, and you don't correct me if I'm wrong, we'll have 2 folks that will be appointed to this board from Jackson County. Currently from Jackson County, for the other board that kind of coincides with this is Ms. Shepherd, and we've got a business owner that I'm not sure who that is exactly right now. But this new board will be 2 other members.
2 members appointed from Jackson County.
Right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, do we have a motion to concur with this realignment?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any discussion, further discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. Next item is a proclamation declaring April Fair Housing Month. Again, this is something we've done annually and coincides also with some of the programs that we can conduct and grants that we receive. So are there any questions or comments on this before we proceed? We have a motion to approve the proclamation.
Make a motion.
Motion, we have a second.
A second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Next item is a resolution to approve and sign the resolution for the ACCA in regard to county administrators for completing the requirement government courses. Again, we discussed this last week, and this is required to get the final certification, correct? So any questions or further questions or comments? Do we have a motion to approve the resolution?
Make that motion.
Motion, or a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Next item, motion to approve sanitation department purchase of a rear loading garbage truck. This was presented to us from our sanitation department last week. He thinks this is a very good opportunity for this, and of course with the aging truck that we have, this would be used as the backup and may at some point be the primary. So questions, further questions or comments on this? And we will purchase this if it's approved, purchase it out of the line item for equipment purchase, is that correct? So do we have a motion to approve this item?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, we have a second.
A second.
Okay, any discussion, further discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay, next item, motion to discuss and approve action regarding the restaurant at Jackson County Park. You have a lease agreement in your packets. I believe something was sent to everybody a few weeks ago. There have been a few changes to this, including who's responsible for the water and sewer, as that's something that's not separated from the rest of our bills. The commission would maintain responsibility of those, and the tenant would maintain responsibility of the utility or the electrical use, and pay that full cost. So the agreement that you have before you tonight, I would like to try to move forward. If not, maybe we could continue this meeting to do this next week. I think time is of the essence. However we do it, if we choose to move forward tonight, we would still need to make a determination on the actual monthly rent, and we'll need to vote on that at a later date. So we can move forward tonight, or we can try to have those numbers in place by next week if we want to do that.
Is he gonna be responsible for all the insurance and everything, the way I read this, right?
All of them, Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Correct. Any other questions or comments? And this does provide for some way out if need be for both sides. But I think both sides are also protected. No cost to us as far as the, any repair or any renovations in the project. Correct.
I'd like a motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve, do we have a second?
A second.
And that is approved with further discussion we had on the rental rate. Okay, any further discussion on this? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. Next item is a motion for board appointments. We have 3 boards, which we have had both individuals apply for to participate on. One is Mountain Lakes Behavioral Health Care, the Cab Jackson Water Authority, and the Marshall Jackson MRA Board. We should have letters both of these. So we'll handle first the Mountain Lakes Behavioral Health Care. We have two openings, and we have 2 individuals that have requested reappointment on this. So what we'll do is entertain a motion, or open the floor for nominations for these 2 positions. Again, we have 2 individuals that have applied. So we'll open the floor for nominations for these 2 positions. Have any nominations?
Nominate Mr. Manning.
Okay. Mr. Manning, we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? No nominating, Mike? Yeah. Okay, I'll nominate Mr. Schultz for the, to serve as well. Are there any other nominations? Okay, with no other nominations, we'll close that. We have 2 vacancies and 2 nominations, so we can vote to proceed with both of these nominations, or we can vote on them separately. Entertain a motion either way.
Make a motion to combine.
Motion to combine and approve both?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
I'll
Second.
say,
Motion and second. Any discussion on this? These board appointments do begin in April, so they will begin next month. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay, both of those nominees have been selected. Next item is regarding the DeKalb Jackson Water Authority. We have, Mr. Cummins has reapplied to be on that board. So we have 1 letter and 1 vacancy. So at this time, we're opening the floor for nominations for them.
We have 1 or 2. We'll just get one.
Just the one this time.
Yeah, I'll nominate Mr. Cummings.
Okay. Have a nomination for Mr. Cummings. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, having none, we'll close the floor for that, and we'll entertain a motion to approve the 1 nominee.
Okay, motion.
Motion, we have a second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion and second. Any discussion? And this one will begin immediately. This appointment will begin immediately. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. We do not have the MRA board with us tonight, so we'll push that to the next meeting. We do still have several boards that are seeking appointment. We'll continue to leave those open, and we'll try to have a list at the next meeting to announce again those boards that have vacancies to be appointed to. The final item on the agenda is regarding the surplus of the old dishwasher. We did purchase a new one. I think it's the other one we're having some issues with, correct? So we did purchase a new one, but I don't know that it was surplus the old one when we did that. So I entertain a motion at this time to surplus the old unit. Motion, do we have a second? Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, motion second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. That concludes the items on our meeting agenda, so we'll move on to the public comments portion. And with our last public meeting, I think we allowed all the elected officials, if you have anything you'd like to share, we can go through that, but we'll open the floor now for anybody that would have anything to share. So feel free, if you got questions, please share with us.
I've got one that I had put in the comment box probably a year ago, and I've never heard anything from it.
Okay.
And I was just wondering if the county couldn't perhaps have a document shredding service for the county citizens, even if you did it once a quarter, even semi-annually, kind of like you do the trash truck. Like, even if you did it like this on the square, like first Monday every quarter or something, if that was even a possibility.
You're talking about us providing a service to the citizens to shred out? I'd have to look at that. We could discuss a little more in depth what you mean by that. I think we would have to guarantee that, those documents are being handled correctly. So we would want to make sure we had someone or have that process in place. Yeah, that's something we could look at, and I'd be glad to discuss with you further. I don't know if there are any other questions or comments on that. I know that right now we have a lot of documents that are shredded through a program that we work through the revenue department, I believe.
With art.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know if we could utilize that. If we could utilize that same process, it would probably work out. I'm not sure what kind of load that they have right now. But if we could utilize that same process, then it probably would be feasible to do something like that.
It would be good to keep those art employees employed.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
great for everybody involved.
And I know all of them, and they are wonderful people. I just have a little bit of a problem bringing my bank statement down there, and putting it in a pile.
Right. And that's what, again, if we were to offer a service like that, we would want to be sure that folks are comfortable. And again, would we have to hire someone to do that, or how would we go about the process?
But don't they have a truck where you can just bring it and give it to the people there at the truck, and they just do it right then?
Is there one that goes around? I don't know. There is. You're talking about bringing them in, trying to get that survey group in.
Yeah,
Okay.
a truck that would, just be there, where you just bring it to the
There's
truck.
open back out there, we took all our stuff and then credit, give us a certificate.
Okay, yeah, we can look at that possibility. I didn't know that there was a service like that, but if we could call on them and they can do something for us at little to no cost, that might be beneficial. I see what you're saying.
I think she may be referring to Scottsboro Recycling, but that's a company, that's a business. That's
No,
just that-
I mean, I have just seen trucks around like document shredding services, thing like, a name like that.
Yeah,
It's
there's,
probably for the attorneys and things with no record.
we use a company called Shredded, they come about once a month.
I think I have seen a truck marked out.
They come to your office.
Yeah.
Now, we use a company out in our office out of Huntsville, but we have one of those big containers, that when we get it full, we call them in the state thing. But, we don't put ours in there because it costs to have that thing filled, emptied every time.
It's like a sealed container or something.
Well, it locks, it's just got the, little place you can put.
Would something like that folks could drop stuff off in, do you think that would?
Well, no, it's not very big, it's not much bigger than a garbage can,
Okay.
Still someone's gonna take
A lot of ours, we let the art shred too, unless it's just really personal. private information. We don't even put that in there, for the art people.
Okay. Yes, we can definitely look and see what possibilities, maybe start with the company you mentioned just to see if they provide something like that.
And even if, you did it a year, and maybe it wasn't used, you could say, okay, that wasn't utilized. My only other question was, as you were speeding through that agenda, did I understand you are closing on Good Friday, the courthouse?
Yes.
Yes.
Except for you.
Too late.
Any other questions, comments? You interested in what we got going
No,
on?
thank you.
Okay. The purpose, yes,
Actually, I apologize for not understanding the procedure of the meeting, but I had concerns about the weather policy, but
Okay.
it's irrelevant now.
well, no, please go ahead and share with us, if you would. If you care to, you can go ahead and share. We can always amend it if need be.
Well, the public works department, we're a service department to the community, and in situations where you might close courthouse, we would be working. If you had an instance where you had a lightning strike at a TVA substation on Sunday night, and you closed the courthouse on Monday, your employees get paid for 8 hours pay, we get paid for 8 hours pay. But our Monday's a 10-hour workday. If you had the same situation maybe on a Thursday night, and you had a lightning strike that hit a TVA substation and it went out, you would, courthouse people go home and get 8 hours pay, we would get nothing. And so we come out losers on both
On
ends.
what was that second instance, on what day?
If you had a lightning strike on a TVA substation on a Thursday night,
Right, okay, good.
okay, we got our work weekend by Thursday, and we worked our 40 hours. But yet you're gonna pay the people at the courthouse to stay home for 8 hours, and we wouldn't receive anything. So in both those scenarios, we come out losers. Chances are we're gonna be working anyway, but, we had hoped that, we could leave with something instead of nothing. That was our concerns, and, like I said, we are a public servant, and we're gonna be out day and night, but we would just like to be treated